Is that an insult if I ask you if you train legs?
A little bit.
You know, it's like when I ask people, I'm like, do you work out? And they're like, what do you mean? Do I work out? I work out 6 days a week. I'm like, oh shit. I gotta be careful what I say, you know? Yeah, so we're gonna get some legs in today and kind of give you guys an overview of why I do, how I do. And this is my last leg workout of this week. I'm actually staying on track. So every 5 days, I feel like I just get over being sore, and that's the one body part that I still always get sore on, especially on my backside, because I do a lot of hamstring and glute work, which you'll see. So hamstrings will be the priority first, and then we'll do quads. And I've done every workout there is. I've separated quads and hamstrings, where I know some people like to group body parts on 2 separate days. For me, I like to train on a double split day usually, was my best. Hamstrings in the morning, 5 hours in between, hit quads at night. You're always going to get a better workout after much more food in you. But today I only have one meal, so I don't think I'll be exploding out of my shorts, but we'll see how I'll probably surprise myself and actually get a good pump. So I'm testing this 3.0, which is more citrulline and more sodium. So the hydration factor with for bigger pumps, basically. So I'm testing it, but I don't know. We'll see. All right, so we're going to start with a little different movement today. One leg curl. Pretty standard movement. A lot of machinery, is a lot different feel. I always rave about the Techno Gym equipment. But with this, what's really nice about this, I want to show here. So there's a platform, right? The platform's adjustable, which I really like the adjustable platforms, because obviously the height of people's body position changes a lot during training. But it's just about switching legs back and forth. So this doesn't actually move. So you just alternate back and forth, one leg to the next. So we're going to do probably 2 feel sets with this, and then we'll focus on 3 working sets. It's going to be the first movement of several, which I'm going to talk about once I get in. But normally I do like the sitting leg curl, but someone was on it. So we're going to start with this today. All right, so you see the pause I'm doing on this. I'm really just kind of lock this hamstring and get that squeeze. I'm not counting reps necessarily. I'm just kind of going out of here. So I talked about those pauses, just trying to lock in the muscle a little bit. So I talk about this mind to muscle connection, and I always think, you have to have experience to do that. But to be honest, if you feel the repetitions and you close your eyes and you envision how that muscle works, or you envision yourself, for someone like me competing, I work on, okay, how do I feel the muscle when I actually contract it? I have a lot of mind control when I go through those exercises, and then focus on, okay, what pose is this exercise going to represent the most? I'm going to put this at the highest position. We're going to lock in about 145 so we can show that. So 145 is our starting set, plus this. I'm just going to take that off. We don't need that. All right, so like I said, this is my favorite besides stiff-legged deadlifts. So I can bounce up to 160. All right, so this position, the swing, okay? So it's kind of nice. So what I'll do is, I'm gonna do these, so I'll do those, and then what I'll do is actually, so pump, 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 and then I'm gonna stretch it. So then I'll work on stiff-legged, get those cords, because remember the hamstrings are a bunch of cords. We're gonna get those stretched out, and then we'll do lying leg curls, maybe some sort of lunge that will help bring in the glutes. Combine that tie-in. Like I said, the worst fear for me is actually having an ass that goes straight, right? So, all right, 160 pounds. That was a burn. All right, so normally I'd be done here. I'm gonna do one more set just with the heavier weight. So we're at 160. Now, could I go heavier? Probably, but I try to just pump, tear some fibers, and then, you know, try to get that feel that way. Because I know I'm gonna do a lot of volume, so I don't wanna go to total, complete failure and have the, and have it to a point where it's counterproductive. All right, so stiff-legged deadlifts. I'm gonna start with 65, go to 70, and then 75 for the last set. So 3 sets here. So what I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna use this line. So I'm gonna use this line to even my toes pretty much. Slightly out, get that nice stretch. My goal in my vision is separating like the glute and hamstring to really get that contraction here. That's the goal with this. So whatever reps it takes me to get to that point, I'm gonna focus on. So look at the line, right? Why use dumbbells over barbells? There's a few reasons to that, but with the dumbbells, for some reason, because it's isolateral, I feel like I can do more with the dumbbells, number one. When I come down, I get a better feel. I feel like I'm more individual on the legs, if that makes sense. And also the weight. Now, I was super strong on any deadlift, whether it's stiff-legged or regular deadlifts. So, I mean, you've seen us, 405 would be like nothing doing stiff-legged. So I'd rather focus on the dumbbells, and I don't allow myself to go over 80. And even when I was at full capacity, I rarely went over 100 pounds in my full prime Mr. Olympia condition. So with this, I'm really just trying to get, like I said, there's a little bend to the leg, but getting that contraction, I'm really feeling the pull through here, obviously all the way down. All right, so 75. So I get a little stretch in the hamstrings here just by sitting. A lot of blood in there. So I'm thinking next, I'll do a couple sets of walking lunges. So I'm gonna walk this space, and then we'll do our lying leg curls, and we'll go into some quad work. So every step, I'm really concentrating on the glute hamstring tie-in. So that step might be a little longer rather than a little shorter step for the quad. So chest up. That's the most important on this exercise, is the chest up. Don't fall in. All right, pay attention now. What do you think my starting weight's gonna be? What do you start with on these?
I don't do these, I don't fit.
Huh, you don't fit? Legs are too long?
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. $125. $125, bro. All right, so hamstrings. So we did one leg curl, seated leg curl, stiff-legged deadlifts, lunges, lying leg curl. 5 exercises. So now we're going to do quads. So we're going to warm up a few sets of leg extensions here. And then hopefully maybe go to this press. And then we'll take it from there. See how that pump is. So I'm going to start with 85, 90 pounds. Just get a good feel for this. Just get the rhythm a little bit. I should get an instant pump. I'm going to credit the Amplify, but I always think you should do something pre-exhaust instead of going right to the compound, just to get the blood in the muscle, get everything moving, you know, take that pressure off the joint. You know, remember, a muscle that has blood in it is going to work, it's going to function better for those compound movements when it's already filled. Okay. So lower foot position, guys, on this. So I'm going to focus on 12 reps here. Okay, toes out a little bit. All right, before anyone asks, why do I keep this like this? So I can pull the weights off easier. Put my fingers in there. It's genius, right? It's amazing when you take the pressure and you allow it to drop with your heels, takes all the pressure off the knees. So you shouldn't have any joint pain, even though the feet are in a super low position here. I think you should be able to feel that. Remember, all your power is going to come mainly from your rear end. So that's kind of like the push. And then once you explode out of the hole, all the muscles engage. And then when you fall back, you know, obviously the quads, and then when you get that deeper stretch, it's going to bring the glutes and hamstrings in some. All right, we're going to do, I think, the squat machine next. See how that feels. So over to the Rogers squat. So I want to show this position. So you see this? This is going to allow the apparatus to sit a little higher. So for different heights, you can make those adjustments. All right, Rogers squat. Chest up, okay? I'm gonna focus on dropping, but bring in the glutes and everything. So my foot position will be I want you to pay attention to the foot position on this, because there's a good placement pad here. But I'm just gonna try to sit where I try to focus more on the quads than the glutes and hams on this exercise. So chest up. I am going to do 3 sets here. Now, if you pay attention to the weight, it's not a lot. Benefits of having genetic legs. All right, so I'm gonna get a nice stretch on this. Really just pulling with the hamstrings. So funny, when I started training, so I read a book called Beyond Built, which is a book I bought in GNC when I was 16. The author of that book was Bob Paris. So he was a incredible bodybuilder in the 80s, and you know, handsome guy. So when I saw that book and I saw, like, you know, the tan physique and like the developed body, not super huge, right? Not anything like today's standard. He was more what they would call classic. Like, I fell in love with training just by looking at the images in that book and learning about grouping body parts and putting, you know, certain muscles together on certain days and having days off, you know, because you first look at bodybuilding, you're thinking, oh, you have to go to the gym and you have to train, that's how you grow. I didn't realize that the growing was done outside the gym and you had to have days off from the training. You couldn't train, you know, every single day, full capacity. I didn't know you couldn't train arms every single day. You have to learn those routines. And not to say that you can't. You can do whatever you want. But as far as a bodybuilding physique and repairing muscle tissue and the muscle getting rounder and bigger, you know, obviously it's a lot of food and rest, recovery that's going to help that continuation of developing the body. So when I read that book and, you know, I used it as a study guide, I still have it sitting in my mom's attic. Man, that was the early days that taught me. So for you guys that sit and watch these YouTube videos and maybe say, hey, I started following you, Jay, at a certain age, you know, I'd love for you guys to kind of comment, like, did you use my routines on video or DVDs, YouTube, whatever, Living Large Trainer? Are those the movements and the routines that you learned on how to train? Because Bob Harris taught me in a book and I didn't have, you know, anything, even audio or video then. It was just straight reading from a book. And I thought, you know, that knowledge kind of sat with me and I still use to this day. Like I'm still talking about it, right? Being way retired now and, you know, having such a crazy career myself, you know, what a huge advantage it was to be able to read these books and be able to learn that way and make those routines come alive. And still learning. I mean, I'm still learning the process, which is really cool. So we're gonna do one more exercise, which is gonna be the pendulum, which I know is everyone's favorite. It's hard, I hate it, but it works. All right, remember the foot position, guys, okay? Always re-rack your weights. Are you impressed with my leg training, bro?
Yeah, I can't get half of it.
You ever have a day that you dread to go to the gym?
Yeah, today.
Huh?
Yeah, today.
So I hit you this morning and I said, hey, do your thing because I'm busy. Did you go to the gym?
Yeah, I went. I was tired today. I still made it.
Did you have a decent workout even though how tired you were?
Yeah. You know what's funny is that I think on those days you have to be so locked in, you almost do a little bit better.
I can't tell you how many times I drive to the gym. And I was training for Olympias and I was like, this is going to be the worst workout ever. Like, I have this in my mind. You wouldn't think this because I'm, like, about my career, I was crazy positive. And I always like, I'm going to the gym, I'm going to kill it. But even in my world, I'd go to the gym and be like, man, I'm stressed. I had this going on, or I traveled, or like the diet wasn't working well. My body wasn't being responsive based on my pictures I was taking because I was counting down to defend the title or chase Coleman down, whatever it was. I'm only talking Olympia days, and I'd be at the gym and I'd get in there and I'd be like, okay, let's just get through this. And you have the best workouts ever. And when the other way around, you're like, I'm going to go in here, I'm going to kill it. And then you run into that one guy in the gym that wants to talk your ear off for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then it's like it throws the whole thing off.
Yeah.
So that's why I end up starting to train in the middle of the night to avoid the crowds. And I can't imagine like social media today, because I can tell you that everywhere I go, I went to eat last night at this restaurant in Aria. And I went to meet, this weekend is the Supply Side West, which is our ingredient show. So my manufacturer is here. That helps me a lot with the products. So I went to eat with Jay Wolf and his team, Dynamic, to you know, just go out there, catch up. We don't get to see each other that often other when I go out to the facilities. And, you know, walking through the casinos, man, it's like, Jay Cutler, this, that, you know, obviously fans, supportive. And this is at 8:30 at night, 9 o'clock. And it's just amazing how much social media has changed the game and allow us more visibility. But it makes me realize that the content we put out and the effort we put forward, because let's be real, you're sitting behind the camera. How many days is it like, okay, I got to get this shooting in, I got to get this in, I got to get that. We have so much stuff, like we have a schedule. And to be honest, I kind of dread it sometimes because it's like we have to get through so much. And sometimes it's overwhelming. And sometimes like the call to action is a suggested call to action, meaning it's not something that I noticed on social media, but remember, we have a whole group of team that sees what the comments are and asking questions. But the problem is now AI, people go to AI and they say, hey, what about chest training or back training, this or that? And it asks some of the oddest questions because I'm like a bro science guy where don't ask me about a textbook because sometimes I feel like it doesn't necessarily work. So I'm totally off the grid when it comes to that kind of training. I just kind of go through the motions. I do trial and error type training. I learn. But you have all this suggested content and there's so much confusion. But I can tell you guys, I'm so thankful that I'm able to put the stuff out and people are seeing it here on YouTube. They're seeing it on Snapchat, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook. I mean, our Facebook audience is crazy. Our TikTok audience is crazy. Snapchat, the younger generation, like they're crushing it. And our YouTube, man, YouTube's still, you know, it's still the go-to. People want to learn how to do the video. So hopefully some of you guys are watching this video and hey, it's leg day. What are we going to do to capitalize our leg day? Check out this routine. Follow it, comment below, guys. Let me know what you guys think about it. Like, we've been shooting this content now and doing some different type editing here on the JTV channel. And, you know, once again, I want to thank you guys for following along, man. You know, we're trying to shoot in a different style now. I'm sure there's some reels that will be taken from this as I talk about, you know, the feeling or, you know, when I go in the gym, like I said, the mindset is the pump. The mindset is the time under tension, the muscle. There's so many different variations to that. Everything's 8+ reps. I try not to leave here crawling to my car. Those days are over. Not to say that you shouldn't. If you're 25, you should probably be crawling to your car. Leg day should be the hardest day of the week. It should be the most amount of effort. It's going to be the most calories. You should be eating your most calories on your leg days because you burn up a lot. What did you train today?
Back.
Okay, so another high calorie day. But, you know, one arm rows, T-bar rows, bent barbell rows, deadlifts, like all that stuff, man. Those are some of my favorite movements. But let me know what you guys think. Once again, we'll be coming every week with you guys. I want to thank you guys for following along. We'll be back for another video. And once again, man, keep following it and keep pushing your dreams, man. We're out.
No mercy for you, no worries for you. That Game of Thrones, go Cersei on you. I flip the script, I roll the dice. Don't fall asleep, cause I'm working nights.